Hi, I'm Darlene Carman.
And I'm Doug Carman.
Welcome to the show. Where can children tickle their creative side with fun art projects, music, and dance? The City of Sunnyvale is presenting Hands on the Arts this coming May 17th. On today's show, we will meet some of the participating artists and see their projects for this event. So welcome.
Today we have with us Kristen Dance, who's the artist coordinator for the Hands on the Art. And she's going to tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening. Kristen, how many events are you going to have this year at Hands on the Art?
Well, this year we are going to have 38 workshops at the festival. They will be, some of them will be visual arts projects where the kids can make and take them home with them. Others will be the kids experiencing dance or music. They've all been juried competitively, and they're all led by professional artists. And we look for most of the projects to have some kind of cultural connection to the community. So for instance, this year we're going to have Japanese brush painting, we will have Chinese knotting, Rangoli art, as well as Mexican dance and Middle Eastern drums.
This is your 29th year for Hands on the Art. Is there anything that you'd like to tell our audience about that might be special at the event? This is a long time, 29 years.
It is a long time, and it's been well attended. I'd like to just remind everybody to come out on Saturday, May 17th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The festival is free. There is no admission charge. However, you do need to buy a $10 wristband for the kids to participate. It's for ages 3 to 12. And we couldn't do this event without a whole lot of volunteers. We have almost well over 100 to 200 volunteers that participate. So if any of your viewers are interested in participating and help put on the festival that day, they can go to our website and get more information.
Really nice. Well, it's going to be a fun day. So let's meet some of our artists. Hi.
Hi.
So our first artist is Ellie Schwartz, and you're with the Lace Museum in Sunnyvale.
Yes.
And I think it's so nice for the museum to come out and come to the children, introduce them to something that they probably have not been familiar with their whole life. I think it's really super that you're out. And what are you going to be doing for the children this year?
This year the children are going to make a little snowy owl. It can be used as a pin, or it can be used as a bookmark, or just to tack up on their board at home. But it gives them an indication of what making lace is all about.
And they each get their own little...
They'll each have a pillow to work on and a set of bobbins, and they'll get to take their little owl home when they've finished it.
Oh, that's adorable. So what type of laces does the museum have in its collection?
It has samples of all of the 7 major types of lace: the bobbin lace, the needle lace, the tape lace, the crocheted lace, the netted lace, the tatted lace, and the knitted lace. I don't know if I missed that one or not.
These are all kind of things that children today really aren't that much familiar with. Is that
right. That's very true. Lace making has sort of skipped a generation, and a lot of our visitors remember their grandmother doing it, but that generation in between sort of got lost, got into other ways of entertainment.
But isn't it true that children at a young age in the olden year used to do this type of lace work and so forth at home?
Sometimes at home, sometimes in large factories that used children. They often started learning to make lace at age 6.
Wow.
And by the time they were 10, they could make saleable lace. But this was not lace for personal consumption. This was a business. This was a cottage industry or a factory industry, and children were used as labor. Yes.
Which wouldn't be
They didn't have labor
today.
laws at that time.
And so do the children really pick this up quickly? Is this something that they really just, I mean, to me, that's a lot of things to move around to remember the order well, if there is an order.
Right.
I don't know how to do this, but
Well, some of them do pick it up very quickly, and they follow it up by coming into the museum and taking classes with us.
Nice.
Lots of times we can spot a child that is really adept at it.
That's talent.
And we find the children that are good in math really take to it.
Take to it
which
easily.
Is, which is an amazing correlation, but we found it
Well,
happening.
that's a tactile experience. That why art is so important. So this is a art form that they really can get involved and feel and touch it.
Right.
And
So how long has the Lace Museum been coming out to the Hands on the Art?
I don't know exactly, but I imagine it has been at least 8 or 10 years.
Oh my,
Yes,
that's a
we've had a
long
booth
time.
there.
Wow. Well, how
Well,
long now has the museum been in existence? I haven't gotten there yet.
Well, it's been in our location on Murphy Avenue for 19 years.
Wow.
And
Very
before
nice.
that, it was in the old mill before they tore that down. Then we went
well,
into
that's
storage.
nice that you're keeping the art alive, and so
It is.
Yes,
Very
yes.
nice.
future generations can know something about what.
We're very pleased that right now some of our laces are on display at the San Francisco International Airport in the International Terminal
How
before
nice.
you get to security, so anybody can go and see these beautiful displays. There's 20 cases of lace.
Wow.
Some of it from our museum and some of them from Lossie's Museum in Berkeley.
Very, very nice. Well, this is really nice to have you here today and
Yeah, thanks for
introducing to this
participating
beautiful.
in- This is a wonderful.
Well,
event.
thank you so
Yeah.
much for inviting me. I enjoy sharing this with anyone who's interested.
Well, we'll be back. We'll visit you a little bit later there.
Oh,
Good.
yes, yes. Kids love cartoons, and we got the guy here, Mr. James Green, who's going to teach kids how to make cartoons.
I'm
Yeah.
certainly going to try.
Well, tell us, James, what is it? What's the technique you use to?
What I do is I have the children to start with just basic shapes, like squares, triangles, circles.
And we all know those.
And then cover those or overlay them over like the larger circle to the smaller circle. And then from there, we just kind of like make line. I teach them that the smallest mark you can possibly make when you draw is a dot. Anybody can make a dot. You stretch that dot out, you get a line.
Line. Oh.
You take 4 lines, you get a square. And 1 continuous line, you get a circle. And from there, you just build it from there. The whole idea is just to really have fun at it, but I kind of sneak that little learning thing in there too. They're not thinking about it.
Break it down to fundamentals that they can
Exactly.
comprehend really quick.
And it helps you to get the placement on the page where you want it, and then you can just build it from there. So by starting with the larger circle right in the middle, then you can put the smaller circle for the head, bring in a 3rd circle for the ear, and then you're just adding lines to create the legs.
Now you're making a bird there, right?
No, it's actually a chicken, but the chicken's upside down.
So your workshop is kind of
Well,
structured. It's not ongoing. You have like every half an hour you start
Well,
again.
I'm trying to really
or-
push them through like maybe every 20 minutes. And
Okay.
maybe 15 to 20 kids. So it's really easy just to begin and start. Sometimes they will linger and do coloring, things like that. I like to give them the what I call the semi-structured class, where I kind of give them the structure at the beginning to lay it out, but then at the end they can color it any way they want. And that's where the fun comes in, because one child could see the elephant in the jungle, another could see him at the circus. And so when they start adding the extra things in the background, that's when the creative imagination just kicks in.
Now,
And-
you're doing an elephant there. Is there any other animals that you might teach them?
Well, a lot of times when they come up, they just kind of hit me with something. You know, I've got
Oh,
like
they'll
one little
ask you.
boy that wants this fire-breathing dragon, and some girl wants a princess, and it's like, oh, well, we'll see how that goes. But it's just, I kind of like the spontaneity. When they just come and they hit me with it, and it's just like, they bring on the idea, and I just make it happen. So.
Oh, so you allow that? You allow them to come in and give them their idea, and then you
Exactly.
show them how to make it.
Well, it's
how
kind
to
of
make it come to
they
life
have more
on
input
paper.
that way. If I make it so that we're going to sit down, we're going to draw this elephant, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, well, that may not work. If I kind of just let them come into it thinking that they have choices in it, it works.
If they don't have any, if they don't speak up, they get an elephant.
Yeah, they
right?
get an elephant. And it just looks like a prince.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole idea, is just to kind of like slowly build it up and
Well, that's
bring it
nice
into being.
because it's you got some versatility there for them.
Well, and it's really just a lot about just lines, just basic lines. And it doesn't matter if it looks like an elephant or not. If they're okay with it, then I'm okay with it.
And what are they using? Are they using what you are using, or?
They'll be using pencils to begin. I use the charcoal because you can see it from a bit more of a distance.
Sure.
If I try to use pencil on here, you can't see it on this paper. And then usually what happens, whoever picks what I draw, they get to keep it.
Oh.
So sometimes I may get like a recurrent thing of kids coming back to me. It's like,
Oh, they'll come back later, yeah, and want to do another one.
Yeah, at the end of the festival, 4 o'clock comes really fast. And they're back there, and I'm like,
You want to
okay,
make
well,
another. I want to
That
make a
last
horse.
minute
or
rush.
something.
Well, my goal is to kind of like make it so the parent has to drag them away. If that happens, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
But if the kid goes away and he's not happy, then I'm not doing my job. So I want to make it so that they want to stay, and the parents got to drag them to all the other.
Well, it's nice because they see something that they probably never knew how to make, and now they have the rudiment.
Exactly. And the other thing, that they'll actually show their younger siblings how to do this too. And so I get things like that from parents saying, like, yeah, they were showing their little brother how to make the elephant you showed them last year. So that's, I really look forward to like seeing kids that I've had
That's
in previous,
nice when they come
and
back,
they come back and they're like, we did this elephant for me. It's still on my wall in my room. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, I've heard that one. Usually I'm on the refrigerator. How many years now have you been doing?
This would be my 4th year.
Fourth year.
Yeah, coming up.
Oh, wonderful. So you want to, you want to do many more there because I think it's a wonderful.
That's the
event.
highlight
It really-
of my summer for sure. Yeah. It's it seems like a very short day. It's all over, and I'm too pooped to pop at the end.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy it.
Well,
We know that.
we'll be back. It's
Okay, I'll
nice
try to have it
visit
finished
you.
before you get back.
And our next artist is LAN Romano. Hi. And you're with Music for Families.
Music for
you're
Families.
You're a teacher. What's your classes like there? What do you teach?
Well, it's an early music and movement course for children and a caregiver. So anywhere from the age of 1, birth, up to age 5. I teach a baby's class. I've had a 4-week-old in my class.
God.
4 weeks old.
Exactly. So what we do is we teach the parent how to do music with their child at home and to instill a joy of music. People don't sing at home and sit around the table and do music like they used to. So we're trying to bring that back and make a community out of it.
So important. How many locations does your school have?
Well, we teach classes in Sunnyvale, Mountain View, Los Altos, Palo Alto, and Menlo Park.
Wow. So you have a lot of teachers then.
We have about 7 teachers. I teach 14 classes a week. And our classes, we meet once a week for 45 minutes. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what will the children be doing?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to make a small drum. These are just mailing tubes. The kids are going to get to decorate. They pick the color of paper that they'd like to cover the drum. We'll have stickers out there. They can pick the stickers or they can draw with the felt pens.
Wow.
Then that gets glued. The younger kids need help. We help them do it. The older kids, it's a great project for siblings of older kids that have outgrown our program. Once that's glued down, then the head of the drum is a balloon. And the balloon gets stretched over.
You're starting them off with a basic instrument.
A basic instrument.
It's a
Drumming's
drum.
been around for many years, and then this is their drumstick.
Everybody can play a drum.
Of course. And they sing as well, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them sing along with it. Yeah, so how about you? You sing along with them? You have any of that going on?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the highlight of the program for me is when you actually see, it's like a light bulb go off.
Yes.
And you see these little tiny kids that you put on a piece of music that's got a good beat to it, and their body just starts to go. It's involuntary. So, you know, the Music Together's theory is that all children are born musical. It just has to be nurtured. It's a language. So the younger
Universal
you start,
language.
absolutely. And I get a lot of hugs after class,
neat.
so it's worth it.
Well,
So how many years have you been doing this now?
I've been teaching for 6 years.
At Hands on the Art.
Oh, no, Hands on the Art. This will be my 3rd year.
3rd year.
And I've been a Music Together teacher for 6 years.
Has the school been there longer than 3 years? Do you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not really a school, but they're classes. And personally, I don't know how long we've been in Sunnyvale, but my particular group's been together about 18 years.
So maybe there's other festivals or something, just anywhere to get out there, see the kids, introduce them to the music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we'll be back to visit.
Thank
you. So we'll let them continue working, and I'll talk about my project.
Oh boy, we get to see her project.
Well, so I first did Van Gogh, let's see, that was 13 years ago. That's when you came on board, in fact, you mentioned. 13 years ago, I did Van Gogh. And recently, I bought a book, and it's about that thick. I'm still reading it, by a couple Pulitzer Prize authors. And it kind of got me thinking about Van Gogh again. So I decided to bring them back. Now, what I remember way back long ago when I did this one was working on the samples that the kids had to do. And I remember how I felt doing it. I enjoyed it so much, the movement, the rhythm of the strokes. Of course, I paint with vegetables, so I use that. But I just remembered how I felt. And in fact, I enjoyed myself so much that I did more than I had to for the display, which is unusual because I enjoyed it so much. The other thing that I remember is I remember the parents' reaction and the people that came by my workshop. They really, really liked Van Gogh. So I had to ask myself, well, why is this man so popular? He was only an artist, a productive artist, for like 10 years, and yet everyone seems to know Van Gogh. So at first I thought maybe it was the subject matter. Everybody likes sunflowers and starry nights. Maybe that's it. But the more I thought about it, the more I came to realize that I believe that it's actually the motion, the movement of his strokes as he moves around the canvas. I really feel that that has something, it's almost like animation, in fact. And I have a feeling that it gets a reaction from the people that really get into it and feels the stimulation. At least that's my theory. So what I did to prove that, I just wanted to prove if this is true, I decided to take one of my paintings and redo it as if Van Gogh did it. So over here, I have a painting, an oil painting, of course, painted with vegetables. And it's from a cabin in a little bit south of Tahoe. And I did it in oil. And then over here to the right, I painted it as if Van Gogh might have painted it. It was a little bit of a challenge because I couldn't find anything at all in his books that looked even remotely like this. And so he did mountains, but they were in a distance. And I couldn't find anything with fall leaves other than poplar trees and a mulberry tree. So the subject matter wasn't so much, but I had to ask myself, what do I want to put in here as far as symbolism? And I didn't want to be really obvious, like radiating suns and starry nights and so forth. I wanted something that would be him. So what I did was I decided I had to have a garden because his family was heavily into gardening wherever they were. And of course, if you have a garden, you have to have workers. And he had affinity for workers wherever they worked. He really just felt identified with them, you might say. And then for Van Gogh, you have to have a path. And so he was an avid walker, and he always was searching for the journey, the road to life. Where is it? And he was always searching for it, so had to have a path. And then to prove my theory, I really had to get the movement in there. And so that's with the feeling of the grass and the weeds and, of course, the sky. So I'll be curious to see how that goes over at the festival. So this year for the project, behind those two we have some samples and sunflowers and the cypress up above the sunflowers. That really gets the feeling of the movement. The kids really like to do that, and they get their vegetables because, of course, I use my veggie tools to do this, and celery is what I use for the cypress. And so the middle one over here is olives, and then Starry Night, of course, and another cypress. So that's what we'll be doing this year at the Hands on the Art. So let's get back now to our artists and see how they're doing. We'll just come here.
Oh, Ellie, I noticed over here on the front of the, you did bring some stuff from the museum. Maybe you could show us the...
This is my travel pillow. It's a piece of lace, yardage lace, that I'm working on. I have 45 pairs of bobbins on here.
Wow.
And they're in this little keep minder so they don't get tangled when I move it around. But this is a handy little way of being able to take your project with you, because my other projects aren't great big pillows and they're a little hard to carry.
That's very delicate lace, I noticed from here.
Yes, it is.
Camera.
Wow. And how long would that take to do something like that?
Well, I can do one of these repeats in an afternoon.
In an afternoon. Hard on the eyes?
Yeah, you have to have good light.
Yeah.
So I usually have a light with it.
Now, on the classes that you have, are they for adults as well?
Yes, we have classes for children on Tuesday afternoons, and we have classes for adults on Wednesdays during the day and Thursday evenings. And then weekends we have special workshops that are occasional, whereas the other classes are ongoing.
So, and do they fill up pretty fast? Is there a demand for this? People wanting to learn something? What gets them interested in lace? Did they just all of a sudden wake up?
Usually seeing it made.
Seeing it made.
We demonstrate at the county fairs, and we get a lot of people looking at the lace and inquiring about it. We always have a couple of practice pillows there that people can themselves work and get an idea of what it is like.
Yeah.
And then we do have an outreach program where we take an exhibit out to groups and have a talk and tell them about lace and let them feel some of the beautiful lace collars that we have in the collection. And
Nice.
they enjoy that.
Oh, very,
So-
very nice. And that's lovely. And of course, people can go on the website and check for more details about the classes when you have them. James,
Well,
would you like to show us some of your artwork?
Yes, I would. These are a couple of pieces that I've done. This one here is actually done with Conte on a textured paper. This one I did some time ago. Then I kind of ventured off into pastel, which is actually what I do a lot at the art. At the Hands on the Arts. I use the pastel primarily for the pieces I do. This one back here, the giraffe in the back, that's pastel on a gray paper, and this one here is a pastel on a very dark gray paper with more skin tones.
Most of your work is then done in pastel.
I like the idea of working with pastel. You can actually take the colors and mix them on the paper.
Oh.
Yeah, and so that's the kind of like the fun part. If you're trying to make a violet or a green, you'll take your yellow and then bring in your blue, and you can determine
So you
how
blend them
deep.
right as you draw,
Exactly.
so you can just...
And actually, for some of the kids, I teach them how to do a color wheel that way by making the color wheel like a clock, making yellow 12 and 4 red and 8 blue, and then just blending the colors through the other numbers to make using your primary colors to make your secondary colors and tertiary colors.
And
kids love that too.
Yeah, people can go on your website and see some more of your work.
Exactly,
And,
yes.
Great. I think we have that up. Oh, Lynn, yes, I understand that you're also in a band.
I am.
Yeah.
I have a 6-piece.
Yeah, so that's besides being a teacher.
Right.
Yeah, what's the name of the band?
the Colony Street Band.
The Colony Street Band.
Colony Street Band. That's we originated on Colony Street in Mountain View.
Oh.
So that became the name of the band.
That's clever, yeah.
Yeah, we've a 6-piece classic rock band. We've been together for 18 years.
18 years.
In various forms. So.
And what do you do? Are you a singer? Or?
I'm a singer and a percussionist.
And a percussionist. Well, I should figure that out. All right. Let's see your drum there. Let's see your.
So this is something
Nice.
what the finished project would look like. It does take 2 hands to put the head on, but this is your drumstick.
So the kids have to get some help when they
hear
put on
that?
the stretcher.
They do. Yeah, you just really need somebody to hold this part while you stretch the balloon on it. But it's something very simple. They can bring home. They can decorate it any way they want.
Yeah. I understand you grew up with music in your family. That's what you did for recreation. Instead of watching TV, you sang.
Exactly. Well, I had a grandfather who played piano in the silent movies.
Oh.
My grandmother played violin and piano, and then I just have these great memories sitting around the family table after dinner breaking into song.
And you'd all sing. Yeah.
So we had the accordion and
Yeah.
4-part
I think a lot of families a long time ago used to do that. I know our family did.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, everybody used to, and Darlene's family,
That
they
was
used
the
to sit around and
entertainment.
sing.
Yeah, it was.
then it's
Well,
kinda
listen,
sad that
speaking
that's
of
lost.
entertainment, I want to thank you all for being here. I really appreciate that you came and shared your time and your talents with us and sharing your project. And thank you, Kristen, for being here and telling us all about it.
Thank you.
So thank you for watching the show, and you can always check the website, Hands on the Arts.
Hands on the Arts.
Sunnyvale?
In Sunnyvale.com.
.com and
.org.
check out more information.
Oh,
Thank you for
.com.
watching
Oh,
the show,
Sorry.
and watch again. So, anybody hungry? It's like a
You know, that's my. I get to eat the vegetable.
Well, I got salad.